Hello students, today I am going to teach the topic SOA and SOC. So let's proceed with the concept SOA and SOC. Before studying the SOA and SOC, we understand what is the meaning of a service. So a service is an implementation of a well-defined piece of business functionality with a published interface that is discoverable and can be used by service consumers when building different applications and business processes. As cloud computing is an emerging computing paradigm where various users access the resources and services offered by service provider. From a technological perspective, cloud computing is the combination of many components that enable the present day cloud computing paradigm to offer the services efficiently to the consumers. Advancement in each of these technological areas have significantly contributed to the widespread adoption of the cloud computing, as these services is for the fulfill the needs of the client, and that services are provided by the cloud service provider. There are number of cloud service providers exist in a market. If you have example in front of us, that is Amazon, Microsoft, Google, IBM, etc. Now everyone is famous for the services which they are offering. So this is about the services. Now let's talk about the SOA and SOC. As we learn, SOA stands for service oriented architecture and SOC stands for service oriented computing. The service oriented computing, that is the SOC paradigm, utilizes the services for the rapid and low cost development of interoperable distributed applications in heterogeneous environment, as its SOC for development of rapid low cost interoperable system and that are independent of programming languages and operating system. Also, SOC help create compound solutions using legacy systems and enterprise information systems exposed as loosely coupled services residing on remote networks. Let's talk about one point, that is a legacy system. What is a legacy system? If you go few years back, that time number of organization develop their enterprise application in certain languages like in COBOL, Pascal, etc. Since they are properly implemented all such languages, then till date they are using same system which are developed in that such languages like a COBOL, Pascal or Fortran. So that old system still that is in use, that is called as a legacy system, and cloud computing is one of the best solution for such a legacy system, where they are providing the support, where they are providing the services, so such a legacy system. Also, organization can programmatically offer their business process over the internet or on various network, as nowadays number of organization they are having their own enterprise application So they are implemented their business application on a cloud basis and they are available for the usage. As we are talking about the SOC, so in this SOC paradigm, services are autonomous and platform independent entities that can be described, published, discovered, and loosely coupled using various protocols and specifications. SOC makes it possible to create cooperating services that are loosely coupled, and these services can be used to create dynamic business processes and agile application in heterogeneous computing platform. As SOC uses services architectural model of SOA, as this model consists of entities such as service providers and service requesters. Now, while these service provider and service requesters are under the SOC by using the SOA, so they are going to follow certain principles. So what are that principles of identifying the services? That principles are: a service should be represent an tangible business concept. Also, a service consists of a series of organization-wide analysis where a process can decompose into several small set of processes. Also, a service should be reusable processes within or outside an organization. Identify possible inputs and outputs should be generic for these business processes. Also, service should be identify dependencies among services and their impact on internal or external to the system. As service providers publish the detail of their services in the service registry using an extensible markup language where you called as a XML. It is also called as a web services description language, that is WSDL. Service requesters find the suitable services from the service registry using specifications such as universal description, discovery, and integration, that is a UDDI. Service providers and service requesters communicate with each other using protocols such as Simple Object Access Protocol, that is SOAP. So, Simple Object Access Protocol allows a program or service running on one platform to communicate with another program or service running on a different platform using Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is HTTP, which is mostly associated with Hypertext Markup Language, and its XML as mechanism for the information exchange. So this is about the service providers and service requester in terms of principles of identifying the services. Now let's talk about the service oriented computing, that is a state of art, and what are the research challenges in front of that. So challenges are service foundation, service composition, service management and monitoring, and service design and deployment. In service foundation, dynamically reconfigurable runtime architecture, end-to-end security solutions, infrastructure support for data and process integration, semantically enhanced service discovery. So SOA enables mutual data exchange between program of different vendors without the need of additional programming or changes to the services. The services should be independent and they should have standard interfaces that can be called to perform their task in a standard way. Also, a service need not have prior knowledge of the calling applications, and the application does not need to have knowledge about how the tasks are performed by the service. Therefore, the various benefits of service oriented architecture are different. They are like reuse of services, agility, monitoring, extended reach. As service management and monitoring is one of the research challenge in terms of the SOA, so it consists of self configuration and adoption, self healing and self optimization, as well as self protecting. So in terms of this will turn as a benefits of a SOA, that is a reuse of services and monitoring, as various services can be reused by different applications, which results in lower development and maintenance cost. Having reusable services readily available also result in a quicker time to the market. Then in terms of monitoring, it helps to monitor the performance of various services to make the required changes, which helps, that is a SOA helps in terms of the SOC, that monitor the performance of various services to make the required changes. As the questions come in terms of the service composition, it covers like an composability, dynamic and adaptive process, as well as quality of service, aware service composition, then business driven automated composition, that is the question of agility. So in this, service oriented architecture can be bring the architecture agility in an enterprise through wide use of standards such as a web services. This is the ability to change the business processes quickly when needed to support the change in the business activity. These agility aspects helps to deal with system changes using the configuration layer instead of redeveloping the system constantly. Also, as the state of art and research challenge in terms of service design and development, that consists of engineering service based system, gap analysis technique, service versioning and adaptability, and service governance. It falls on one benefits of SOA, that is a extended reach. So in this, in the collaboration between enterprises or in the case of shared processes, it is ability to get service of various other processes for completing a particular task. Hence, service oriented architecture can be used as an enabling technology to leverage cloud computing. Then cloud computing offers on-demand information technology, that is IT resources, that could be utilized by extending the service-oriented architecture outside of enterprise firewall to the cloud service providers domain, and this process of SOA using the cloud computing, that is a service oriented architecture using the service oriented computing. As we learn the benefits in terms of certain challenges for the SOC, that is state of art and research challenge, but how to overcome that challenge, that we can say overcome with an SOA benefit. That's why I'm saying that this is the process of SOA using cloud computing, or that is an SOC. As we know the paradigm point of view, service oriented computing utilizes services for the rapid and low cost development of interoperable distributed application in the heterogeneous system. Now under this paradigm, different entities are covered like an service registry, service provider and service requester, and how those communication occur between the service provider and service requester. They are going to use the XML as well as HTTP. So this is the exact SOA and SOE. Thank you.